do better works than me. That's what the Bible says. So all these people running around, these Christians running around, begging and pleading for all this stuff to happen. But the Bible says you're supposed to do better than him, what he did. You're supposed to do greater works. So Christian, why are you not living in your power? Why are you not living in your power? You've been robbed of that power by dog, that's fine.
Dog.
You've been robbed of it. And that's what I'm here for.
Robbed of it.
Alright? Anyway, guys, look, I love you. You gotta do some research. If you're basing your eternity on one book only, and you don't know 99% of the stuff I know, you got a serious problem. You're gonna be back again reincarnated. Just like a video game. When you play the video game and you die in the video game, you come back again for another life. You come back over and over till you reach the top level, right? That's what's happening right here. You don't even see it. You can't feel it. You can't understand it. What's going on in this realm is some people that are here, regardless of what their physical age is in the third dimension, they're ancient. There are people here walking these streets right now that are ancient. A 20-year-old could be an ancient entity, ancient person, have been here many, many, many times. And then you have people here, most of the people in my opinion that are wrapped up in this dogma, these are newborn babies. This is your first or second time here. That's why you're caught up in what I would like to call this young-minded thinking, and this very immature thinking and belief system that exists called religion, and really becoming a fanatic of dogma. And that's something that younger people, in terms of their universal age, are susceptible to. So I'm not mad at you, I'm not angry at you, I'm not making fun of you. I'm just trying to make things a little shocking. And by making things shocking, people pay attention. When you do things, I just want to know that information. When you do that, results aren't as strong. And me understanding applied neuroscience, which is what I went to MIT for, I understand that sometimes you need shock factor. And so I use a shock factor approach, but it's not to hurt or injure or make anybody feel sad. It's about shocking a certain number of people. I know that my technique will reach a certain number of people in a way that nothing else will reach them. And that's why I use these techniques. It's all about the technique and how to wake people up in a way that will make them begin to want to ask questions to their own self first and then begin to research information. All right? Anyway, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Somebody said, how do you expect to learn from your memories? You see, one of the tricks, I'll answer this one question by this guy, and then I gotta get out of here. When you look at coming back and having full memory, it takes time to acquire a certain level of knowledge and wisdom and understanding spiritually and consciously in the dimension. And so when you analyze that, you realize that the people that genetically modify us by using chromosome number 2 and putting telomere caps on it and shortening our lifespan, that's what happened in the Tower of Babel incident. Human beings used to live for thousands of years. Thousands. Okay? In the Sumerian Kings list, which I'll be at in the Ashmolean Museum in Oxford, England, in a couple of weeks, I'll be going live from there, and I'll be showing you the Sumerian Kings list live. There's people on there that ruled for 14,400 years, 28,000 years. One person, right? You'll see a few men ruled, with the exception of a woman, ruled for over 200,000 years on Earth. These lifespans were immense lifespans. But what happened? At the Tower of Babel incident, our lifespans were shortened. That's a whole other podcast to talk about. I've talked about this a few times. You can find them in my videos. But scientists now confirm it happened. Our telomeres were capped, reducing our lifespan to 120 years max. Okay? When you shorten your lifespan, when they shortened our lifespan, it was so that we wouldn't gain knowledge and wisdom. Because over time, you become more and more wise. The older you get, you become more and more wise. You begin to see things differently. You begin to change. Just like when you're a young teenager, you do a lot of risky things. And as you turn into a young man or a young woman, you begin to get a little bit more cautious as you have more responsibility. But you sometimes, even at those ages, you're still kind of out there, doing your thing. And then by the time you turn 35, 40, all of a sudden you slow down way a lot. Your whole idea of reality and perception of reality and life changes, and you move into a whole other mode of phase of life. Imagine multiplying that over 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years where you would get consciously. Then you ascend towards such a high level of consciousness that Bill talks about in my book, Compendium of Your Tablets, in where you can learn how to even incarnate at will. Not only incarnate at will, but he even says on and in the plane you desire. In other words, even in different dimensions. They were like, we can't let this many billions of people do this. How can we keep them locked consciously into a prison? Oh, we shorten their lifespan. They'll never get wise, and then they'll be stuck reincarnating before they get enough knowledge and wisdom to ascend to a higher level. So it takes a lot of practice, work, determination. Now, in the 75, 80 years you do have, if you're blessed to live that long anymore, to divulge and digest and discern as much knowledge and wisdom and information you possibly can, so that you can work on ascending and making up for time that you don't have to get the knowledge and the wisdom, shortening the amount of times you have to reincarnate on this planet. That's what my goal. That's what I'm doing. That's why I do what I do. See, so that's a whole other podcast to get into. But I'm glad you asked the question. But guys, I appreciate you guys. I love you so much. Thank you for those donations tonight. Please take this video and share it to as many Christian people as you possibly can share it to. They need to start learning what the heck they're praying to, who they're praying to, what they're praying to. They need to understand that the powers within them, that they are God walking in the flesh, and the same spark that created this entire universe is in every single atom in their own body, and that their consciousness is streaming from that same God source and inhabiting this avatar body for the purpose of learning what it's like to be a person in the third dimension. What lessons can be learned here? How is it to experience this life in this realm? The good, the bad, and the ugly. And then how do we then take what we know is in a higher dimension, which is heaven, and bring that to earth? Can it be done? This is the big experiment that's going on. Can it be done? Can they rise to that level of golden age where they can bring heaven to earth? And if they do bring heaven to earth in the golden age, which has been done before, can they sustain it? Can they maintain that level consistently, ongoing, through eternity? Can they then spread out from this planet to others and duplicate this over and over again? Can they harness the power of the sun the proper way? All these are the questions. This is a big experiment. That's exactly what this is. Will they learn unconditional love to a level in a way that everyone is 1,000% equal across the board? That when they look at somebody else, the color of their skin doesn't even have an effect on them consciously. It doesn't even have a physiological effect. It doesn't even come across, the thought of color of skin doesn't even cross their mind. All they see is another one of themselves. In la kin, that's what the Mayans say. I am another you. All right? Guys, I love you guys. Peace. I'm out. I'll see you again soon. Don't forget, hit the Black Man Satellite documentary, forbiddenknowledge.tv, 4bk.tv or forbiddenknowledge.tv. All right?